What is it about a teenager saving the world that makes audiences go wild? Ever since I was young, I remember being obsessed with shows about young protagonists still in school, facing all the common issues one would expect for someone their age, while also bearing the responsibility of having extraordinary powers and fighting the forces of evil with them. I guess I assumed when I grew up those characters would stop seeming as enticing to me, but even nowadays I still think they're pretty awesome. And I know I'm not alone in this. After all, how many Buffy stans are still out there whose teenage years are long behind them? Teen heroes are an inspiration for many. That's why we can find them in all kinds of shows targeted for diverse audiences. And even if not everyone is fond of them, we can't deny they hold a special place in pop culture. And I believe the reason for this is easy to understand for anyone who has gone through puberty. I don't know about you, but my switch from elementary school to middle school was anything but pleasant. One moment it's still okay to feel and act like a kid, and the next you're surrounded by a bunch of preteens trying to outgrow each other. Suddenly, you begin caring a little too much about what others think of you, and everything you do becomes a subject for careful analysis. Should I wear this into school? Will people like me more if I learn to play the guitar? What can I do to hang out with the cool kids after school? It's not a secret that during this time, the self-confidence of many crumbles, especially those who feel like outsiders. Shows like One Tree Hill, 90,210, and Gossip Girl showed us a glamorous version of adolescence, which at some point all of us aspire to replicate. If we even spend the entire weekend making out with model-like strangers in random people's houses, then we were basically losers. This idea became more powerful with the rise of celebrity culture. In the early 2000s, popular icons among young people like Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie, Lindsay Lohan, and Britney Spears showed us the kind of life cool young people should have, which of course left teens all around the world feel like there was something wrong with them, as their everyday life didn't even come close to theirs. Today, things can be even worse. According to a study analyzing data from the Blue Cross Blue Shield Health Index, millennials have seen a 47% increase in major depression diagnoses since 2013, while in teens, the rate increased from 3% to 4.4%. This could be due to technology. A 2019 study found that teens using social media more than 3 times a day are more likely to show symptoms of poor mental health and well-being. As it turns out, constantly comparing oneself online to thousands of teenagers living what seems like enviable lives surrounded by luxuries, tons of friends, and perfect bodies isn't precisely beneficial for young people. In a way, these are their role models. So what happens when their life doesn't look like theirs? Who should they turn to? That's where teen heroes come in. In most cases, teen heroes are portrayed as outsiders who wouldn't commonly be considered as cool. Shows from the early 2000s, like My Life as a Teenage Robot or Danny Phantom, highlighted this by giving their protagonists unconventional families, nerdy or misfit friends, and bullies who exemplify what traditional cool teenagers ought to be. Other shows, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, had their hero consciously choosing to befriend the odd group at school rather than the popular kids, placing true friendship above high school social status. In any case, this series gave its viewers, especially the young ones, someone to relate to. They might not be the type of person everyone looks up to at school, and yet they're still the protagonists of their own stories. Another big thing about teen heroes is the secrecy surrounding their special powers. One would think that teenagers longing to stand out among their peers would rather watch shows in which the protagonists were admired by everyone for their powers. But if they did, how could they relate to them in a more personal way? The cool thing about having protagonists hide the things that make them unique is that viewers get to feel like they also have special abilities worth celebrating, but which need to be hidden. If you think about it, this is exactly what teen years are all about. Even if some young people demonstrate outstanding abilities and skills from a very young age, the vast majority of us discover what we like, what we're good at, and overall the sort of people we would like to be as we grow up. So it's comforting to look up to someone whose superpowers are still hidden from others because, in a way, our own superpowers are still hidden during our teenage years. For me, one of the things I liked the most about teen heroes growing up was looking up at someone who embraced the things that made them unique, treating them as a strength rather than a burden. Even if they didn't fit in with the rest of the crowd, they were still amazing in their own way. I'm sure I'm not the only one who tried to change at least a few things about myself in order to be more liked by a certain person or group. Thinking of it now, I find it funny, but at the time, I felt like I really needed to be someone else in order to have friends. And I'm sure there are still a lot of young people feeling like that these days. Because of this, I think it's extremely important to have a positive representation in the shows they watch. And in most cases, teen heroes shine precisely because of this. Despite being introverted, awkward, or different from the rest, these characters are nothing short of spectacular, proving we don't have to be anyone else to be truly super, pun intended. All of these reasons make teen heroes popular among younger crowds, but as I said before, there are still a fair deal of grown-ups who love them. The reason for that is not too complicated. Watching underdogs succeed is always inspiring, especially when living in a society which makes us feel worthless a lot of the time. Teen heroes are a demonstration that no matter what society tells us, we can still be extraordinary. Buffy teaches us that feminine girls can also be strong and brave. My Life as a Teenage Robot teaches us that the things that makes us different can also be some of our strongest assets, while Teen Titans teach us that a group of misfits can also save the world. And these are only the first examples that come to mind. What have teen heroes taught you? If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, it would mean a lot. I'll keep publishing more content on what TV has taught me, so don't forget to click on that notification bell. Thanks for watching.